Bobby Clarke and Matt Clarke both got overlooked for the EFL Awards this season, and I, for one, am very, very disappointed with the way the EFL have picked these teams, for example. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that I've watched every player in the Championship. I'm not going to sit here and say that because that would be a lie and it's physically impossible to watch every single game. But one thing that I do know is that Matt Clarke has been one of the best centre-halves in the division, and Bobby Clarke is arguably the best young player in the division. And that is my personal opinion, and I probably am a little bit biased as a Derby County fan, but I'm going to dive into every reason why I believe those things to be the case. This is the Derby Digest. If you have not done so already, hit like, comment and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you want to support the channel a bit more, hit that join button and become a member. But let's digest. Now, Matt Clarke, in my opinion, has been one of Derby County's best players across the course of this season. He's been one of the most important players, in my opinion, in the entire Championship. Now, I look at Matt Clarke at 29 years old, and I look back to when we signed him in January of 2025. It was what, a £200,000-300,000 deal. Middlesbrough had written him off. Wasn't really expecting him to do anything. He's gone on, in my opinion, to be one of the best defenders in the league, if not the best defender in the league, if not the best centre-back in the league. In terms of defensive contributions, is in the top 97%. Well, he's in that top 3%, right? If you look then at aerial duels, he is absolutely flying. Chances created as a centre-half is unbelievable, by the way. Honestly, he is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated players in the division. Not only is he a ball-playing centre-half in the Championship, he's also a skillful winger. He's also a left-footed crosser. He is unbelievable. And I am, in my personal opinion, fuming that he has not been put in team of the season, especially with Crammer and Doyle being the two that have got in. Now, I think Crammer's had a great season, but he's played more games at right back than he has at centre half. Doyle has been good, but not as good as Matt Clarke, at least in my personal opinion. And let's just look at the numbers across the course of this season. 42 matches, 3,775 minutes, a 7.18 match rating. He's missed one game this year, and that was as a result of a red card. 3 goals and 3 assists from centre-half. Unbelievable, Techers. Let me tell you, unbelievable. Now, I am disappointed with the fact that Matt Clarke is not in the team of the season. I personally believe he should be. Now, I know I'm probably on my own in regards to this, but I genuinely believe he should be in that category. Now, Matt Clarke as a player, in terms of average rating over the course of the season, finds himself in 39th. Now, if we want to go in terms of centre-halves and we want to go in terms of rating, Dyer O'Shea, Kitbag, Jones, Clara, Fry, all these defenders, centre-backs, Jake Cooper, have all been better. Robert Atkinson. Like, these players have all been better at centre-back in regards to average rating. But for me, you're looking at defenders. You're looking at what do they do in their box? What do they do in that sort of situation? And I am going to be completely honest. I think Matt Clarke is very much up there in terms of defensive contributions. Per 90, 13.5. Tackles per 90. If we just scroll a little bit, I'm not actually quite sure where he is. Obviously, this includes midfielders, fullbacks, and everything like that as well. You might not actually even see him on this list. He might be way, way down. But I know he's been unreal this season. I've seen it with my own eyes. And that's what's annoyed me a little bit, if I'm honest. Even clearances is in the top 3. Blocks per 90 is in a decent footing. And I'm going to be honest, I am shocked that Matt Clarke wasn't put in the category. Now, in terms of Bobby Clarke, I understand it a little bit, right? He had a slow start to the season. He's played as a bit of a deeper midfielder. The player that won it over him, James from Leicester, I believe, has had a really good season. but I don't believe he's had a better season than Bobby Clarke, at least in my personal opinion. This season, 14 goal contributions in 26 starts, 31 games. Bobby Clarke has played 42. He's played out of position for the majority of those games. 3 goals, 3 assists, I think, something along those lines. In my opinion, Bobby Clarke has had a better all-round season than that of Jordan James. And I know people are probably going to look at this video and be like, yeah, but you're a Derby fan, you're going to think that. And yeah, that probably is true. It probably does give me a little bit of bias. But ultimately, I believe that, look at the players subjectively, right? Jordan James, we already know, has had a decent career. Like, let's not beat around the bush. He's had a decent career. Obviously came through at Birmingham City, moved to Rennes, then obviously has come to Leicester. Now, don't get me wrong, this is probably the best season of his career, but I don't think it's better than Bobby Clarke's. Bobby Clarke, on the other hand, came through at Liverpool, won a trophy, moved to Salzburg, came to Derby on loan because he wasn't in the picture, and has been absolutely unbelievable. In my opinion, Bobby Clarke has been our most important player this season. Now, I know Derby fans watching this will probably look at it in a different angle in terms of Bobby Clarke and probably say, he's not been our most influential player. And in that sense, I think you have to look at what he's done for the squad. Not only has he played out of position in a double pivot, he's also been put on the wings on numerous occasions. He's never really had a run in his position, which was the number 10. Obviously, picked up that injury against Southampton, which unfortunately rules him out until the playoffs if Derby County do get there. But in my opinion, had we had a fit Carlton Morris, had we had a fit Patrick Agyemang for the whole season, I think Bobby Clarke would have had a much bigger sort of tally in terms of goals and assists, in my personal opinion, because when those two have played with Bobby Clarke, he's been unreal. And I don't know, it is a weird one, I'm not going to lie. I am not going to lie. I am just very, very disappointed that Bobby Clarke and Matt Clarke have both been overlooked by the EFL Championship and by these awards, because I personally believe they deserve it. I think Matt Clarke should have been in Team of the Season over Crammer or Doyle. Don't get me wrong, Crammer's had a great season, but he's played more games at right back. Don't get me wrong, Doyle's had a good season, but Matt Clarke trumps him in every category. Bobby Clarke, I understand the argument for Jordan James. I am very disappointed that Bobby Clarke hasn't been credited with the award, but ultimately that's football. We move on to the next one, and that is Derby County versus Norwich tomorrow night. If you have not done so, well, tomorrow night, it'll actually be tonight when you're watching this. If you haven't done so already, check out my match preview from yesterday. Will have been posted in the evening. We'll probably have a video out later today before a live watch along, where we will be taking a look at injuries, taking a look at the press conference review from John Eustace, if there is one. There might not be one, with it being a Tuesday night. It will just be a small one from Post. Who do we play? Post Oxford. So we'll take a look at that in a few days later on. But if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell. This has been the Derby Digest. We have digested Matt Clarke and Bobby Clarke being overlooked. If you haven't done so already, hit like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Hit that join button if you want to support the channel and become a member. And I'll catch you guys